大家听得到吗？大家好不好啊？好。那想跟大家公布一下，就是等下呢，在Homa完之后呢，就请大家呢在外面排队灌顶都在外面排队灌顶所有的同门请到外面排队灌顶。那灌顶的时候呢，是从这个大门口Homa殿大门口这边排队，因为外面在下雨，所以呢改成在这个大门口这边排队。所有的同门你们在大门口Homa完之后呢，请先出去大门口那边排队。好，谢谢。
For the empowerment today, if you're listening for the empowerment today because it's raining, you can line up from the front door, the main door, not the side door, but the front door, where there's an awning near the Homa fire.
今天也特别冷又下雨，那我建议了，从这个星期开始呢，大家要带雨伞过来，因为应该也会下雨也要多穿一点衣服谢谢你们。阿弥陀佛刚刚呢，因为他们说都没有听清楚，我再讲一遍。如果在等下呢Homa完之后呢，要灌顶的时候呢，同们请先到Homa殿大门口外面排队。由于下雨的关系呢，就是不会从前南尊者那边进来现在呢是从Homa殿大门口这边进来灌顶。那也请同们呢注意一下，就是呢在施真走出去做这个Homa点火的那个水泥地的地方呢，是不可以坐人的请大家如果呢是没有在里面拿到座位的同们呢，那请你们到车库那边，车库那边肯定有位置谢谢。好，那现在呢，我要确认一下，你们手上都有那个20位的同们都有那个绳子那个紫色的绳子都举起来好吗？好，我们先从这边开始同们那 OK， 好，那个这边的都有好，那个师姐那边都有是吗 ？OK， 好，那谢谢你们谢谢。
座位的位置是固定的，千万不要挪来挪去因为要保持距离记得。
请大家起立。恭迎真佛宗创办人、无上法王根本传承上师圣尊莲生活佛、是木莲香上师， 众人虔诚合掌，唱诵莲花童子心咒。恭请师尊带领大家做大礼拜，一拜根本传承上师及十方三世一切诸佛。Om 啊 Hom 观想定力，回天心三音，200诸菩萨嗡啊吽观想定力，回天心三音，300诸护法金刚嗡啊吽观想定力，回天心三音是平等齐手。恭请法王圣尊莲生活佛升法王座。
We just welcome our beloved lineage Truth Guru, His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng, to enter into the temple hall and take the Homa throne in this Homa hall. We paid homage to the 3 jewels of the altar, and now we are inviting Simu, all the Vajra masters, all the venerables, and all participants to please take the seats. Inviting His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng to bless the prayers of the primary supplicants. The offering of Hatha. Let us now join our palms with reverence, and we would like to invite Vajra Master Silian Yo to represent all of us to present the offering of Hatha to the lineage Truth Guru as a symbol of the highest honor and to request for Dharma transmission. Visualize true Buddha lineage. Namo Vairocana Buddha, Namo Buddha Lokana, Namo Amitabha Buddha, Namo Padma Kumara, Namo Living Buddha Lian-Sheng. Visualize Grandmasters and all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas sitting on top of our heads, reading, like to bless us. Recite Root Guru Mantra 7 times. Om Guru Lian-Sheng Siti Hom. 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 做四无量观， Perform the visualization of the four immeasurables. On your right, ancestors and relatives from the father's side. On your left, from the mother's side. Friends and teachers behind you. Enemies and karmic creditors in front of you. All sentient beings around you. Together practicing tantric dharma and ultimately attaining Buddhahood. Wake up call. Recite purification mantras and the Athiyati mantra. Recite invocation mantra. We sincerely invoke our lineage root Guru, His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng. Namo White Mahabala Kumara. Namo Lotus Light Self-Mastery Buddha. Namo True Buddha School Lineage Gurus. We sincerely invoke the main deity of Homa. Namo Amoghapasa Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. We sincerely invoke the main deity of Homa. Namo Amoghapasa Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. We sincerely invoke the main deity of Homa. Namo Amoghapasa Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Namo Golden Mother of the Primordial Jet Pond. Namo 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Namo 8 primary deities of True Buddha School. Namo Yamantaka, Akalanata, the 4 heavenly kings, Sima Bodhisattva. Rainbow temples, all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dhammapalas, Dakinis, and divinities. All the deities enshrined at the True Buddha Tantric Quarter, at the Seattle Lezang Temple, and at the South Mountain Retreat. Rainbow temples, mountain god, earth god, plant god, wind god, water god, heavenly fire god, dragon gods, and all divinities as well as city gods, to please radiate light and bless this Homa. Great homage using visualization, first to root Guru and all Buddhas. Visualize for procession on the ground, release the mudra. Second to all Bodhisattvas. Visualize for procession on the ground, release the mudra. Third to all Herukas and Dhamma protectors. Visualize for procession on the ground, release the mudra. Fourth Hepa. Great mandala offering. Form the offering mudra. Visualize the transformations of the offerings to become innumerable to fill the whole cosmic space. Make the offering above to the lineage root Guru, all the lineage Gurus, the main deity of Homa, Amoghapasa, all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dhammapalas, Dakinis, and divinities below, and below to all sentient beings. Recite the offering verse and mantra. Mount Meru, 4 continents and sun and moon, transform into precious offerings for the Buddhas. May these wondrous treasures and merits purge our karma to a love of civilization. For full refuge, visualize our lineage Guru, all the lineage Gurus, the Buddha jewel, Dhamma jewel, and Sangha jewel to form bright white light to empower us. Recite the mantra.
Namo Gurupe, Namo Buddhaye, Namo Dhammuye, Namo Sankhaye.
Armor protection, form Vajraklaps mudra, recite Vajrapani mantra 7 times.
Om Bodhilanjali, Om Bodhilanjali, Om Bodhilanjali, Om Bodhilanjali, Om Bodhilanjali, Om Bodhilanjali, Om Bodhilanjali.
Inviting His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng to perform blessings with Mala. Inviting His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng to set ceremonial demarcation, to bless the registration forms, Homa cards, and all the offerings with Jambhala and scepter. Please stand up and join your palms with reverence. And together we are inviting His Holiness to perform the ritual of opening the Homa fire pit, to set ceremonial demarcation around it, to lit the Homa fire to make all the offerings and to perform mudra transformations for purifications, enrichments, magnetization, subjugation, and pardon deliverance. We're inviting all participants to please recite the Hat Mantra of the main deity of Homa today, Amoghapasa.
请法王圣尊莲生佛，生法王座。
Inviting His Holiness to return to the Homa throne. Please take the seat, inviting all the Dharma Masters to please take the seats, inviting all the Dharma Masters, Venerables to please take the seats, inviting all participants to please take the seats.
阿 Om
Recite the heart mantras of the eight principal deities and incarnate Buddha Amitabha.
Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Panamo Din Horin Soha. Om Ha 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 Wei Samoye Soha. Om Jali Juli Junti Soha. Om Jambhala Chalam Chalaye Soha. Om Ah Hom Peja Guru Pema Siri Hom Se. Om Ah Hom Guru Pe Ah Sasamaha Lian-Sheng Siri Hom. 第二塔 Om Bekhajiya Bekhajiya Maha Bekhajiya Raja Samo Kyatehe Soha. Namo 36万亿11万9500同名同号阿弥陀佛。
To the 36,119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha. Namo 36,119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha.
请大家齐念请佛注释祈愿文。具德妙善圣尊秘密主。
Recite the supplication to the Buddha to stay in the Saha world. I pay homage and supplicate His Holiness the virtuous and marvelous Tantrika, all Buddhas of the 10 directions, compassionate Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dhammapalas, and Dakinis, protectors of Dharma. The nights are long, the three poisons are proliferating. My body and soul are stricken, tumbling in the misery of perpetual rebirth. With great compassion, His Holiness came to this world to salvage deluded ones. Three jewels, eminent wondrous light, to provide refuge for all. All fortunate beings, human endeavors, rely on His Vajra body for the bestowal of teachings, vows, precepts, empowerments, and attainments. We disciples of Buddha plead that you stay in the Saha world to turn the Dhamma wheel to benefit and give happiness to multitudes of sentient beings. To Buddha's school disciples wholeheartedly pray to the main deity of Homa today, Namo Amoghapasa Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, the equal deliverance Vajra. By the nectar in your pure waves, please eradicate our lineage Guru's calamities. Let him live a long life with great health and liberty. May all of his wishes be fulfilled and continually stay in samsara to benefit countless sentient beings. Inviting His Holiness to perform the overall merit dedication. Wholeheartedly we pay homage to Amoghapasa Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, the Vajra of equal deliverance. Wholeheartedly we pay homage to Amoghapasa Avalokitesvara, the Vajra of equal deliverance. Wholeheartedly we pay homage to Amoghapasa Avalokitesvara, the Vajra of equal deliverance. We pray to Amoghapasa Avalokitesvara to equally deliver the Bardo spirits to be reborn into the Western Pure Land. We pray by your non-empty power. Please fulfill our wishes so they return non-empty. By the power of your lasso, please bind all resentments and become non-empty. By the power of your lasso, please enhance our good fortune. By the power of your lasso, please enhance our wisdom. By the power of your lasso, please tightly bind sentient beings so that they eternally persevere in their cultivation. By the power of the lasso, please subdue all the wandering and solitary ghosts and spirits. We pray by the power of your lasso, please make love and respect be complete. We pray by the greatly merciful and compassionate Avalokitesvara. May you give happiness to sentient beings, leave behind suffering, following with joy, and to have no discrimination between self and others. We pray for the blessings by the Guru, absorption by the Yidam, and protection by the Protector. We pray, may we rise to luminosity, and may all of our wishes be fulfilled. Amoghapasa, Avalokitesvara, the Vajra of equal deliverance, and gods in heavens, gods on earth, may we be far from all calamities. May all calamities abandon us. Let all disasters turn into dust. May all of our prayers be granted. May all of our wishes return non-empty. May all enemies and enmities disappear. May all obstructions and obstacles disappear. May the coronavirus disappear. Recite 100 syllable mantra 3 times.
สุโตคายุเมปาวาสุปุคายุเมปาวาอนุนาโตเมปาวาสาวาสิริเมปุรายาชาสาวากรรมสุจาเมจิตามุสิริรันกุโรหมฮ่าฮ่าฮ่าฮ่าเฮปังกาวันสาวาตาทากาตาเปจามามิมันชาเปจปาวามหาสมัยยสัตโตอาหมเพOm Peja Sato Samaya Manupanaya Peja Sato Telu Padicha Jajo Me Pawa Suto Kayu Me Pawa Sopo Kayu Me Pawa Anulato Me Pawa Sawa Sidi Me Murayata Shawa Karma Sutame Jitamu Siran Guru Hom Ha 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 Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Pejamami Mancha Pejapawa Mahasamaya Sato Ahom Pei Om Peja Sato Samaya Manupanaya Peja Sato Telu Padicha Jajo Me Pawa Suto Kayu Me Pawa Sopo Kayu Me Pawa Anulato Me Pawa Sarva Sidi Me Murayata Sarva Karma Sutame Jitamu Siniran Guru Hom Ha 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 Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Pejamami Mancha Pejapawa Mahasamaya Sato Ahom Pei 做观想大礼拜，礼拜根本。
Great homage using visualization for Sri Guru and all Buddhas. Visualize full prostration on the ground. Release the mudra. Second to all Bodhisattvas. Visualize full prostration on the ground. Release the mudra. Third to all Herukas and Dharma protectors. Visualize full prostration on the ground. Release the mudra. Fourth head bow. Recite completion mantra. Now let's give the greatest round of applause to show our utmost gratitude to His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng for presiding over this Homa fire offering ceremony. And now let us all join our palms with the greatest reverence, and together we are inviting His Holiness to bestow the precious Dharma teaching. First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today. Amoghapasa Avalokiteswara. Simu Tamchen Kato Duten City. All Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do? Aisteru sarange. Hola, amigo. Sukoyin. Ichiban.
Konnichiwa.
I would like to announce for next Sunday, October 18th, at 3 p.m. there will be Mahabala Homa fire offering ceremony. Mahabala. This deity is one of the major protectors of True Buddha School. One is Mahabala, the other one is Marici. So Mahabala is a great protector. And his heart mantra, and this is the mantra to expel or prohibit ghosts. And the mudra is subjugation mudra. It's very easy to visualize because at our Homa hall here, this deity is Mahabala.
Next week, after 3 p.m. so many power doje fire offering ceremony.
Today we had the Homa of Amoghapasa Avalokitesvara. Typically, there are always many primary supplicants because there are 2 points. One is non-empty and the other one is lasso. And he's also the Vajra of equal deliverance, which means he would equally deliver to the Buddha land of the western realm of utmost bliss. That's why the Vajra name is the Vajra of equal deliverance. Equal deliverance means as long as you pray to him, he would deliver you. It doesn't matter who. When it is equal, it does not matter which kind they are. It would be delivered equally. So that's equality.
他手上他有4背，
and he has 4 arms,
4背，
3 faces, 4 hands,
3面4背，
3
4
faces,
背有一
4
手背
arms,
是拿着念珠的，
and one of the hands is holding mala or chanting beads.
他是念佛接引，念他的名就
So
可以接引。
by calling upon his name, he
另
will
外一只手
deliver.
是持着莲花，
The other hand is holding a lotus blossom.
有一只手是拿着净瓶的，
And one hand is holding the purifying nectar
所有的
vase.
这个业
He
障
is
跟
able
罪业
to purify all karma and transgressions and sins.
有一只手是拿
And one more hand
卷手，
is holding a lasso
可以捆绑着。
that he can
你要
bind
祈求了，他就把你捆绑；
whatever you pray for,
把
he
这个
will
东西
bind
绑
it
开
for you.
你不去
Bind
想
whatever
这个
you
事
ask for to you.
他也可以捆绑你。
And if you don't go to the Western realm of the Pure Land, he could also tie you,
接引
bind you, and send you there.
坚守观念，
Therefore,
在
it's the Amoghapasa Avalokitesvara
这个他
with
的
equal
神的位置
deliverance. In the womb mandala, there is
观世音菩萨
a quarter specifically for him. He's one of the 7 great Avalokitesvara or Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas.
这个说法开始的时候，先讲
And at the beginning of a Dharma teaching,
小话做
let me share a joke to start with.
有一个妇人，请问大师，
A lady went to meet the great master
他是这样子讲：
and asked,
师啊，
Great
为什
master,
么我老公出轨？
why does my husband cheat on
大
me?
师呢就讲
And the great master said,
这块蛋糕吃了，
Please eat this piece of cake first.
那个妇人
And the lady
那块蛋糕。
ate that piece of
大
cake.
师问
And the master asked, Is it good? Was it good?
很好吃。
And she replied, It's very good.
大师问
And the great master asked again,
你可以不可以把这一块蛋糕啊，这整个一个圆形的蛋糕，除了你吃的那一块以外，其
The
他
whole
全部都吃了。
the whole round piece of cake, can you eat them all
我很贵
other than the piece of cake that you already ate? And the lady replied, No problem. I can eat them all.
为什么你老
And the master replied, Now you know why your husband cheated on you. And the lady said, Oh, I know.
人啊，
Because human beings always so greedy,
不知道满足。
they are never content.
大师回答
And the master replied,
什么啊？这里写着
You don't understand anything. In Chinese, it's a little bit of
因
a
为
curse.
吃的太多了。
It's because you eat so much, you're so fat.
你老公可以
That's why your husband cheated on you.
这里有很多事情，
There are many
这个
things
原因倒不在于对方，
that
有时候是自己。
the problem is not at other people, it's at yourself. So any event, anything that happens, you should think about yourself first, or your own shortcoming. It's not necessarily other people's problems. Sometimes it's our own problem. That's why you want to reflect upon yourself. In Buddha Dharma too, we cannot blame on other people all the time. You can't always blame the heaven and the earth and other people. You should blame it on yourself. Actually, a lot of things happen because of yourself and not because of other people. Now, we want to do the question and answer. It's asked by Lianhua Dingkun from China. Grandmaster, peace with you. Grandmaster once thought, in order to gain spiritual union with the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, one has to regard their minds as your mind, their vows as your vows. For example, in order to gain spiritual union with the White Robe Master or Guan Yin, the key point is on the compassion, having compassionate heart, alleviating suffering upon hearing them. Then one's mind is the mind of the White Robe Master. When the practitioner practices according to the procedure every day, eventually it will result in spiritual union. My question is, what is the mind of the Root Guru Yoga? I am practicing the Root Guru Yoga and able to visualize a union with Grandmaster, but I found out recently that I'm missing a little something. It's always been hard to touch the heart of the Root Guru, Padma Kumara, and unable to completely gain true spiritual union. So, Grandmaster, your heart mind amidst the Root Guru Yoga, its most secret, this little something. What is it? How should I practice so that I can gain spiritual union? Thank you so much for your compassionate teaching. So he's asking, what is Grandmaster's heart or mind? I have said before, for the lotus youth of Padma Kumara, the term youth also means the great master. Which is the lotus master, great master lotus. And what are the vows of Padma Kumara? Many vows. And one of them is never to forsake any single sentient being. It's the vow of Padma Kumara. and delivering sentient beings even at the cost of my body and life. Thinking about it, in order to gain spiritual union with Padma Kumara, you cannot forsake any single sentient being, and you have to deliver sentient beings at the cost of your body and your life. That's the heart mind of Grandmaster Lu. Think about it. Mull over it. Saturdays and Sundays are resting days for people. Are resting days. Saturdays and Sundays are days off for most people. And look at how Grandmaster gives Dharma teachings from his youth until now. Did I ever take a break? Even when I was sick with cellulitis, I was in the hospital. I was hospitalized. And on Saturday, I got out of the hospital and went to the Taiwan Lechang Temple and gave Dharma teaching. And during the empowerment, I could not stand. They placed a chair in front of the altar and lift my leg and give the empowerment and blessing one by one. Give the blessing on the head one by one. With cellulitis, you cannot stand on it, on your leg. And yet, you still went to Taiwan Temple. And during the blessings on the head, I still had to place my leg on the bench and giving the blessing on the head that way. Ever since I was young until now, did I ever take one day off for the ceremonies? Any scheduled ceremonies were never missed, even once. I told Simo, I should have retired long ago. If I'm a public officer, I would have retired long ago.
How old are you?
How old are you? My age is my secret. Actually, everybody knows, although it's my secret. I should have retired long ago. But as a monk, there is no retirement. I told Simu, I will continue to do it to work until I'm unable to do it anymore. I will continue to write until I'm not able to write anymore. I will still deliver sentient beings until I'm unable to do it. The masters can take a break, and the reference too. If they don't have a good night's sleep, they take a day off. If you're sick, they take a day off. And if they have something important, of course, they take a day off. Or if they're really busy, they also take a day off. Everybody can take a day off, take a break. Only Grandmaster Lu cannot take a break. Even when my throat is itching, you still cannot take a day off, cannot take a break. As long as you're still able to speak, then you should speak. Never to forsake any single being. As Grandmaster has said before, doesn't matter what kind of person you are. Even if you have committed sins or had violated grave transgressions, as long as you repent and you come back, I will hug you. Whether you're a beautiful lady or you're an ugly person, or the sister of the precept pig, could she be beautiful? I will hug you all the same. Never forsaking any single being. That's responsibilities. Like writing articles. Every time I finish a book, I have completed book number 281. I will take a few days off, thinking about what my next book will be about. The title has been set. Then I will write the title. Book number 282. The title. Meeting the Master Bodhidharma. Book number 282. Meeting the Great Master Bodhidharma. Why am I meeting Bodhidharma, the Great Master? Last week, Grandmaster painted a painting of Bodhidharma. On October 1st, I started to paint Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma. I painted one. Then Master Lian-Tzu from Indonesia, requested one. And the second painting, it was requested by Master Lian-Sheng. And then I painted the third painting. It was requested by Master Lian-Man. And the fourth painting was also requested by Master Lian-Chuan. First Master Lian-Man and the fourth painting by Master Lian-Chuan. And the fifth painting, it was requested by the Venerable Lian Ling, the superintendent of the temple. And the third, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth. Who requested the eighth painting? The ninth painting was by the Venerable Lian Yun, and the 10th, I haven't started painting it, but already requested by the Venerable Lili, because I painted too many Bodhidharma. That's why Bodhidharma appeared. So I work like this. I painted 10 paintings of Bodhidharma. I will paint the 10th one tomorrow because I was so focused in painting Bodhidharma. My whole mind was filled with Bodhidharma. Therefore, Bodhidharma appeared and he brought me to a cave and transmitted all the Zen Buddhist Dharma, the Zen Buddha Dharma to me. Then what is this? That's the spirit of Grandmaster Lu. So, in order to gain spiritual response with Padma Kumara, this is the heart mind of Grandmaster Lu. Once you embrace this secret, then you would gain spiritual union. That's asked by Lian Hua Ting Kun. And this is asked by Lian Hua Qing Qing. First, thank you, Grandmaster, for turning the Dharma wheel. Vows of some deities are recorded in the sutras, so practitioners can follow them and make the same vows as the deities. How about true Buddha disciples who are practicing Golden Mother deity yoga? What are Golden Mother's vows? Grandmaster, please advise. What are Golden Mother's vows? Thank you. Lian Hua Qing Qing. Golden Mother's vows exist in her several sutras. Golden Mother's Sutra of Nourishing the Young and Golden Mother's Jietuo Shouyan Zheng Jing and Golden Mother's Sutras of Shouyan Jietuo Zheng Jing, the Liberation Sutra. So, why don't you read Golden Mother Sutras carefully? In the Golden Mother Sutra of realization, liberation through meditation and contemplation, and also the other Golden Mother Sutra Several of Golden Mother Sutras contain them. If you still cannot find them, please ask again. Taiwan Lianhua Xianting. Beloved Grandmaster, peace be with you. I have some puzzling questions. Please be kind to answer them. 1. In the fifth instructions of a deity yoga or yidam practice, Grandmaster, you mentioned a practitioner's body, speech, and mind should completely match those of the deity, which means that a practitioner has to completely purify his or her body, speech, and mind in order to gain spiritual union with the yidam. My question is, other than the empowerment of the three lights by the yidam to purify the body, speech, and mind during the daily Dharma practice, is there another way? Are there other ways? How about in daily life? Is there anything we can do to purify the body, speech, and mind? This was the first question. Pure body, speech, and mind. In our tantric practices, the most important thing is the pure body, speech, and mind. What are the methods to purify our body, speech, and mind? What did you say? Who spoke earlier? Master Lianman. Practice the 37 qualities to support enlightenment. I will just say a little bit, because 37 qualities just too many. And yesterday, the 37 offerings made me speak for an hour and 20 minutes. When I got home, Golden Mother told me, the 37 offerings, how do you practice them? Golden Mother said, in the Tibetan grand ceremony once a year, there are many artists and crafts, and those skilled artists would sculpt 37 offerings. So they would sculpt or form the 37 offerings. Doma, we call them Doma. So they would need, from clay, 37 kinds of offerings. So the person interested in 37 offerings, then you can attend that annual grand Tibetan ceremony and took pictures of those 37 offering items. And then when you get home, you visualize those 37 offerings to become like lights and entering. The lights shoot into the mandala plates. They would be like the mandala or the offering clouds entering into the mandala plates. And then from the mandala plates, they transform to become offering clouds, thousands of them in the whole sky. So from 37 kinds of visualizations entering into the pile of rice inside the mandala offerings, or the jewels on the mandala plates, and they go in as streams of lights. Then they become like offering clouds from the mandala plates to fill the whole cloud, the whole sky. Those are the 37 offerings. Now, the body, speech, and mind, you have to practice the 37 qualities to support the enlightenment path, because it's too long. It'll take 2 hours to explain. So the way is you often visualize your body to be the body of the yidam. What you say with your mouth would all be related to the Buddha Dharma. Then your speech would be purified. You often visualize that your body is the body of the yidam, then your body is purified. You often visualize that what you say is Buddha Dharma, then your speech would be purified. And in your mind, you frequently or always that your mind is never separate from the yidam. That means your mind is purified, and the speech is Buddha Dharma. Then your speech is purified, and your body is the yidam, so the body is purified. You have to often be mindful of your yidam, then your mind would be purified. That's why you cannot have a very dirty thoughts or yucky mind. That's purifying the mind. And for the speech, don't say nonsense thing, or lies, or double tongue, or evil words. You cannot say curse like you're mother good. You cannot say bad words, evil words. Although it may make you feel good cursing, but you should not. You cannot be double tongue. Which is sowing discord. Like you should not say behind my back that Grandmaster Lu is this and that and that. That's sowing discords, that A is like this, and B is like that, and C is like that. Those are bad talks. Then you're far from the yidam. Your speech is not pure. But whatever you say comply to the Buddha Dharma, then your speech is purified. You don't always have to chant mantra. Of course, when you chant mantra, that's the most pure. But when you don't chant mantra, whatever you say is Buddha Dharma. And for the body, you want to visualize the yidam very clearly, and your body is the body of the yidam. So pure body, speech and mind. That's extremely important. The first question. In daily life, you are able to purify your body, speech and mind. Like sometimes Grandmaster wants to scold someone, Amitabha. Although I'm scolding, but I'm chanting Amitabha. How can you do that, Amitabha? And then you're also chanting Amitabha. Every time you open your mouth, you say Amitabha. When I get up in the morning and I get to the kitchen and I see Simu and Master Lien Yi, and they would say, "Good morning, Grandmaster," and I would say Amitabha. See, my first statement is Amitabha, morning. So I added Amitabha. Then you chant the name of Amitabha. Then you purify your speech. And you say, "Grandmaster, good morning." And Lian-Qi, Venerable Lian-Qi, every time I drive into the tantric quarter, he would say, "Good morning and afternoon, Grandmaster and Simu," because it's about lunch time. You should add Amitabha. And when you reply, you say Amitabha. And Amitabha is the same as good morning or good afternoon or good evening or good night. So this is purifying your speech. And you chant, and eventually, actually every morning I get up, I do the exercise of my ears. That's the ear drumming. I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Amitabha. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Amitabha. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Amitabha. So I do it 70 times, drumming. So I have done it. Every morning I do the ear drumming for 70 times, and I have chanted Amitabha 7 times. So that's pure body, speech and mind, the way to purify the body, speech and mind. Second point, question. Second question. In the supplication verse to the lineage root guru, there's a verse in quote, "With reference, I make my purified body, speech and mind an offering to Mahavairukana." And you also mentioned in your book about offering body, speech and mind to the root guru and yidam. My question is, how do we make offering of our body, speech and mind? Just now, we made offering. As long as you transform your body into the yidam, and your mind is on the yidam, you're mindful of the yidam, and your mouth is chanting the mantra of the yidam, that's offering your body, speech and mind, the purified body, speech and mind, as an offering to the yidam. Once your body, speech and mind are purified, then you are the yidam. then you offer to yourself. Because you are the yidam already, so you offer to yourself. That's the second question. Third, I often hear people say that certain people were born prohibited from eating beef, otherwise it will affect their studies and many obstacles, etc. Some said that people who worship Avalokitesvara Kuan Yin cannot eat beef, else there would be many bad influences. Is this true about eating beef? Why? Asked by Lianhua Xianting from Taiwan about eating beef. Anybody not eating beef here? Please raise your hand. 2. Several people don't eat beef. When I was in Taiwan, I heard people say why they don't eat beef. Because they are grateful to the cows. Because in the early days, Taiwan is an agricultural nation. So the farmers raise cows to plow the fields. And the cows already suffer hardships in the farms, so they truly respect the cows. They are like close members of the family. So the cows work very hard in the farms, in the fields. So therefore, in the early days, Taiwanese farmers don't eat beef. Some people also don't eat beef because of certain reasons. Some after they become Buddhists, or they think that cows work so hard. Many other reasons. Like asked by Lianhua Qingqing. No, not Lianhua Qingqing. Asked by Lianhua Xianting. Most importantly is not to kill. For Mahayana Buddhists, they don't eat any kinds of meats. They are vegetarian. Many people are vegetarians. So they are training the mind, the Buddha nature. They don't eat meat. Many people don't eat meat. The primary reason is for compassion and not to kill. Because of the 5 precepts, not to kill, not to steal, not to have improper sexual conduct, not to lie, and not to be intoxicated. The 5 basic precepts. In Tantrayana, we don't have such rules that we have to refrain from eating meat in Tantric Buddhism. For the exoteric Buddhism, for the Hinayana Buddhism, are mostly in Southeast Asia. For the Mahayana Buddhism, they spread to the Middle Kingdom, China area. And then from the China region, it spread to Korea and Japan. That's for the Mahayana Buddhism. For Vajrayana Buddhism, it spread primarily to Tibet. And in ancient Tibet, it was high up in the mountains. They were all shepherds. They raised cows, sheep, and others. Animal forms. And they are nomad tribes, nomadic tribes. Very few are farming in agriculture. Therefore, it's extremely difficult to have only vegetarian food. Therefore, in Vajrayana, authentic Buddhism, there is no rules to be a vegetarian. But there are nowadays lamas who are vegetarian because eating meat causes them hypertension and arteriosclerosis, heart attacks. Will cause heart attack. So heart attack and stroke. How do you say? She said, it sounds like eating meat, stroke. So, like brain hemorrhage or blockage in the brain that cause stroke and heart attacks if you eat too much meat. Therefore, many lamas nowadays, they are also vegetarian. Or some are vegetarians, some also eat some vegetables. Grandmaster does not set any rules that we have to be vegetarian because we belong to Vajrayana. And in Vajrayana, primarily, we have inner tantric practices that we have to ignite the inner fire to increase the light drops. We have to enhance the inner fire. So in our diet, according to Master Thupten Dorji, which told me, in order to increase your light drops, you have to eat chicken balls. Chicken balls. They would increase your light drops. And he also said, in order to ignite your inner fire, you also need the ingredients for the inner fire. You need to have the resources. You have to have the power.
走火才会产生。那么大家也要注意身体健康。
In order to enhance the inner fire, but we all have to pay attention to your health. So in Vajrayana, there are no rules about what you eat. So the question, why? Those who worship Avalokitesvara cannot eat beef. I think it's because related to Mahayana Buddhism. Because most Mahayana Buddhism, they apply the 5 precepts not to kill, not to eat meat. Those are just local custom. And after eating beef, you cannot study well. Those are local customs. After eating beef, that your political career will also not go well. These are all local customs in Taiwan. But as a Vajrayana practitioners and you want to be a vegetarian, it's okay. I welcome you. But if you're not vegetarian, it's okay too. We will not force you. But with respect to inner tantric practices, for at least a period of time, you need the fuel or ingredients for the inner fire and light drops. And as for myself personally, I'm neutral. Every day I would set to eat 3 kinds of vegetables. I also eat meat, but in Tantrayana, the most crucial point is whatever you eat, meat and all, have to be offered first. Not only they have to be offered, they have to be delivered, bardo delivered first. Bardo delivered. The meat that you eat should be bardo delivered in order to avoid karma. So Grandmaster's personal opinion is I don't specifically reject meat or not, but whatever I eat, I will definitely offer first and bardo delivered first, because even vegetables are also living beings. Because they also grow and life. The vegetables, the vegetations are also living beings. I said there was a scientist, Qiao Benjian. He placed a cable on a tree and hooked up to an instrument with a needle, which is sweeping all across, and the other end of the cable is on the tree branch, and then he cut the branch with a knife, and then the needle moved really fast, so it showed that the tree could feel it, could feel the pain when you cut its branches. A Japanese scientist He used an instrument to test the plants if they have any response. When you do something to the trees, when you cut its branch, that it showed that they could experience some pain. So the trees are living beings, and the vegetables also lives. Sometimes you pull them all out. And then you wash them, and then when you cook them, you know, maybe they cried out, you just didn't hear it. Yeah. And you buy vegetables and you think they're vegetables and you cut them. and they are crying out. Oh. So even vegetables have lives. Actually, the 6 rebirth realms, now the scientists say there are 8 rebirth realms. The plants also part of the rebirth cycle, and the minerals. Even the minerals have lives. They have magnetic fields. They create magnetic fields. When you cut a block of mineral into 2, then the magnetic field would be chaotic and changed. Therefore, it doesn't matter what we eat, we have to bar to deliver them. That's my opinion. About the questions asked by Lianhua Xianting. Those who worship Guan Yin don't eat beef. Or when you eat beef, you don't study well. Or your career is obstructed. That's not always the case. Is that the case? Simu's one of the nephews from kindergarten until now he got his doctorate degree. He got a PhD. He's always first in the hardest class. From kindergarten until doctorate degree, he's always first in class. Now he's at Caltech. It's the first college for electrical engineering. The first leading college globally. Globally. And he does eat beef, so. What? Now he's attending the competition to become one of the 20 top best people in the world. He's competing to become the top 20 best people in the world. That anyone that has a PhD, he's asked to by his professor. Now let's talk about Lamdre. Although now there's coronavirus, he would graduate in December. He was going to graduate in September, but because of the pandemic, he's graduating in December. He's graduating first. And he eats beef. So don't learn from Grandmaster. Grandmaster stayed in class twice. And on Lamdre, the guiding path of the channel seeds divided into three: the guiding path of ordinary characters, second, the guiding path of the 14 characters, and C, the guiding path of the inconceivable characters. So channel seeds are the same as the mantra syllables or characters. The first one, the guiding path of the ordinary characters, the verse, upholding the channels, etc., 3 branches, etc. End quote. Of this, the one upholding the channels is minor, gathering and assimilating the mind chi at the channel knots of the fine channels, and give rise to the 3 spiritual experiences. The 3 branches refer to the body merging into the 3 branches. The first, etc., quote, etc., means the major upholder of the channels, which is gathering and assimilating the mind chi at the channel knots of the 3 channels. The latter, in quotes, etc., implicitly refers to the cliffs. Among the 3 spiritual experiences, the body enters into narrow cliffs. The verse, end quote, greed, anger, and the remaining 5, end quote. The so-called the calm mind, chi, etc., assimilated into the home character at the heart area on top of the 5 poison seed syllables naturally continue to generate the afflictions of the 5 poisons. Also, by seeing the arising of the other continuum, one encounters the elimination of the signs of the 5 afflictions. One sees the destruction of the poison of greed, the elimination of the fire of anger, the removal of ignorance, demolition of the arrogance mountain, and the resolution of the bondage of jealousy. Supposedly, one thinks earlier it is said that the mind chi gathers and assimilates into the 5 vowels area, then one sees the Tathagata body. Our body, in tantric practices, we talk about channels. Of course, the channels are related to the chi, or to the wind, or to the breath. Chi is the same as wind. And the channels are also related to the water and fire. And water is the light drops. Fire is the inner fire, or tumo. And the chi is the wind. When we talk about opening the channels, the channel knots, what are channel knots is where the channels are not open and flowing, or where the channels are turning. It's called the channel knots. According to Tantrayana, the 5 poisons are greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and arrogance. These are the 5 poisons of our human life. And the 5 poisons sometimes arise because of the channels. If all the channels inside your body are open and flowing, because the 5 poisons are related to our channels. If they are all open and everything moving smoothly, then everything would go smoothly. If the channels are blocked, then your body does not feel right, will not go smoothly. Then you would feel anger or hatred. That's the key reason. Greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and arrogance. That's the key point in this excerpt. All of those 5 poisons arise because of the channels. Upholding the channels, 3 branches. Actually, the 3 branches also have channels. You change your body to become a tree. When water flows in the channels of the tree trunk and then to the 3 branches, to the leaves, to the channels inside the leaves, then the water becomes nutrients. Your body would be the same as the tree. Like we just said that the tree also has lives. So your body is the same as a tree. That's what it talks about. Upholding the channels, etc., 3 branches, etc. So what it meant here is when you practice your channels, it would be the same like a tree drawing the water up to the tree. It's the same. Of this, the one upholding the channels is minor. And the mind qi is at the 3 branches refer to the 3 branches. This is all implicit. I've said this. Sometimes I visualize my body, that my whole body is one channel. Did I say that before? Yes, I have. At first, originally, the channel is like this. It's like a straw, a wheat straw, very tiny. And then you can visualize it to be as big as your body. You visualize the 72,000 channels to be one central channel. So channel knots. It's like cliffs. Very narrow cliffs between two mountains. It's blocked. You cannot pass through. So it's as if your chi is being squeezed and your light drops, your inner fire are all being squished by the cliffs. And those are called the channel knots. So it's related. So when you practice your channels, you want to make your channels as large as the sky. Eventually to be as large as your body and then as expansive, as vast as the sky. Then your chi and your channels would be flowing very smoothly and open, wide open. So the three spiritual experiences would be like the body entering into narrow cliffs. So that narrow cliffs are the channels. And the tree branch or tree trunk the same as the channels or to represent the channels. And the verse in quote, greed, anger, and the remaining 5. So greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and arrogance. So it said, if the so-called calm mind or chi assimilated into the home character at the heart area on top of the 5 poison 6 syllables, naturally continue to generate the afflictions of the 5 poisons. Also, by seeing the arising of the other continuum when encounters the elimination of the signs of the 5 afflictions, one sees the destruction of the poison of greed, the elimination of the fire of anger, the removal of ignorance, demolition of the arrogance, and the resolution of the bondage of jealousy. So this is how you destruct the 5 poisons, because the channel knots would create or generate the greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and arrogance. In order to destroy these 5 poisons, is you want to untie or to open the channel knots. Once they are open and flowing, then you can resolve all the 5 poisons of greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and arrogance. So they use they use analogy here. They use a metaphor. Supposedly one thinks, earlier it is said that the mind chi gathers and assimilates into the 5 vowels area, then one will see the Tathagata body. This is contradictory to the arising of the 5 poisons at the same area. Actually, it's not a contradiction. The 5 poisons and the 5 wisdoms, are they contradictory or in compliance? They are both possible. The 5 vowels would generate the 5 poisons, but the 5 vowels also destroyed amidst the 5 poisons. That's what the Guru taught me. So the 5 vowels can destroy the 5 poisons, but at the same time the 5 vowels can also generate the 5 poisons. They are all depending on the channels. The pure ingredient of the 5 ambrosia generating the body of the Tathagata and the phenomena of the 5 poisons, greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and arrogance generated by the accumulation and assimilation of the wind chi and calm mind to differ in their essence. Don't be so fixated on the wordings, otherwise you will never understand what is meant there. They did it intentionally. I heard the Guru, they try to embed it. to make it so fuzzy that you don't understand. That when the channels is open and flowing, that what you originally have, the greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and arrogance will decrease naturally. But the 5 nectars will give rise to the 5 poisons. But the 5 nectars are the same as the Tathagata body. So the 5 poisons and the 5 nectars are the same, are equal. So according to the interest of Tantrayana, because you have 5 poisons and you eliminate the 5 poisons, you would be able to see the body of Tathagata. Like inside our human body, we have the 5 poisons, therefore we will not be able to see the Tathagata. And once you eliminate the 5 poisons, you would be able to see the Tathagata. Now do you understand? Now you would be clearer. It's already 1 hour 20 minutes. This is the guiding path of the channel seats. This is very profound and very detailed, very convoluted. So the writer did it intentionally, and the translator, the Chinese translator, was also. And what are Tathagatas? Tathagatas are the greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and arrogance. And once you eliminate the greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and arrogance, you would be able to see the Tathagatas. Do you understand? So, the anger, greed, delusion, doubt, and arrogance are the Tathagatas. But once you eliminate the 5 poisons, you would be able to see the Tathagatas. So, according to the Yogacara teaching, that all the Buddha natures embody the greed, anger, delusion, proud, doubt, and arrogance. So you smelt, you purify the 5 poisons, and then so amidst the very narrow channels, they all include the 5 poisons. And once you open it, you widen it, and when it's moving smoothly, then the 5 poisons would be eliminated. Then you would be able to see the Ksitigarbha. Like what we said before, like minerals. If you want to extract the gold from the ore, the gold ore. So that's the 5 poisons: the greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and arrogance. Those are the ores. But once you can extract and refine it, then what you get is 999.999 gold. So that's the process. So you use the empty nature, the Buddha nature, and the Qi to extract it, to process it. Then you can eliminate the 5 poisons, and you would be able to see the Tathagata. That's the key meaning. Otherwise, the wordings are really too horrible. too foolish. So even if he asks your smartest nephew, who's best at his studies, to read this, he would not understand anything, even. From kindergarten to the doctorate degree, he's one of the 20 smartest person in the world. He will not understand a thing reading this excerpt. Every time he takes an exams, he would wear my T-shirt with my mantra. Now with my explanation, you would have a good idea, right? So the anger, greed, delusion, doubt, and arrogance, they're also part of the mineral ore. They're all mixed together. So you have to extract, or you have to eliminate those 5 poisons, then what's extracted would be the pure gold. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum. We haven't even told the joke. We are very grateful to His Holiness Precious Dharma teaching. And in a moment, that would be the empowerment. And now we will perform the great homage first, and this ends the English interpretation today. Thank you very much. Please remember to return your receivers. Thank you.
因为下雨的缘故呢，所以呢是从护摩殿大门口那边呢排队进来灌顶。等一下灌顶的时候，是从护摩殿大门口这一边排队护摩殿正门。
谢谢。
好，再见。假期期间，我们现在恭请师尊带领大家做观想大礼拜。礼拜根本传承上师及十方三世一切诸佛，嗡啊吽观想顶礼，回天心三印，200诸菩萨，嗡啊吽观想顶礼，回天心三印，300诸护法金刚，嗡啊吽观想顶礼，回天心三印，四平等于其手。等一下呢，师尊会为大家做护空捐所观音菩萨法的灌顶。网络直播到此结束，非常感谢大家的收看，阿弥陀佛。We now conclude this live broadcast. Thank you for viewing.